The news of a ceasefire agreement brought a collective sigh of relief across a world weary of the Gaza conflict. People dared to hope. Could this be the end of the bloodshed, the beginning of a new chapter? Celebrations erupted in Gaza, the streets briefly alive with a joyous cacophony. But the jubilation was short-lived. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delayed the cabinet vote on the deal, citing Hamas's failure to uphold their end of the agreement. A shadow of uncertainty fell over the region as quickly as it had lifted. The delay in the vote has thrown the already volatile situation into further disarray. It has sown seeds of doubt about the viability of the ceasefire, leaving Gazans to grapple with the crushing reality that the bombs may not cease after all. The proposed ceasefire, brokered by the United States, Egypt, and Qatar, was meticulously crafted to address key issues on both sides. It promised a glimmer of hope, a chance for peace to take root in the war-torn land. Now that hope hangs precariously in the balance. Even as the world awaited the Israeli cabinet's decision, the sounds of conflict continued to reverberate through Gaza. Israeli airstrikes intensified, casting a long shadow over the proposed ceasefire. The attacks claimed the lives of at least 81 Palestinians, including innocent women and children, in a matter of hours. The streets of Gaza, briefly alive with celebration, were once again transformed into scenes of devastation and despair. Hamas, for its part, maintains that it has met all the conditions outlined in the ceasefire agreement. Officials from the group, including Izzat al-Rishek and Sami Abu Zuri, have vehemently denied Netanyahu's accusations of reneging. They argue that the deal as it stands addresses crucial Palestinian demands, including the full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza and the return of displaced Palestinians to their homes. The group has called for the immediate implementation of the ceasefire, urging the international community to hold Israel accountable for the continued violence. The proposed ceasefire, a three-phase plan, aimed to bring about a gradual de-escalation of the conflict. The first phase, set to last 42 days, would see a partial withdrawal of Israeli forces from densely populated areas of Gaza. It also included provisions for a prisoner exchange with 33 hostages, including American citizens, to be released in exchange for 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. Critically, this phase aimed to allow humanitarian aid to reach the beleaguered people of Gaza. Within Israel, the ceasefire has ignited a firestorm of debate, exposing the deep divisions within the government and society at large. Netanyahu faces immense pressure from his right-wing coalition partners, who view any concession to Hamas as an unacceptable surrender. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich and National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir have gone so far as to threaten resignation if the war does not resume after the initial 42-day ceasefire, a move that could potentially topple the government. On the other side of the political spectrum, opposition leader Yair Lapid has offered Netanyahu a safety net to prevent the government's collapse. Lapid's offer, however, hinges on the implementation of the ceasefire agreement. President Isaac Herzog has also voiced his support for the deal, highlighting the urgent need to end the bloodshed and find a path to lasting peace. The political maneuvering underscores the high stakes involved and the delicate balance Netanyahu must strike to navigate this crisis. The international community has overwhelmingly welcomed the ceasefire agreement and urged both sides to adhere to its terms. The United Nations, the European Union, and numerous countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Saudi Arabia, have expressed their support. Aid agencies like UNRWA, UNICEF, and the International Committee of the Red Cross have also welcomed the deal, emphasizing the dire need for unhindered humanitarian access to Gaza. The global response reflects the widespread desire for peace and stability in the region, as well as the recognition of the immense suffering endured by civilians on both sides of the conflict. The delay in the ceasefire vote has cast a long shadow over the prospects for peace. The violence continues, albeit with diminished intensity, while the political maneuvering within Israel adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. The casualty figures, a stark reminder of the human cost of this conflict, continue to rise. In Gaza, at least 46,788 Palestinians have been killed, and over 110,000 injured since the beginning of the conflict in October 2023. In Israel, over 1,100 people have been killed, including soldiers and civilians. The road to peace in the Middle East has always been fraught with obstacles. The current situation, marked by mistrust, animosity, and a legacy of broken promises, makes the journey even more arduous. The ceasefire agreement, despite its flaws and limitations, represents a sliver of hope, a chance to break the cycle of violence and embark on the long and difficult path to reconciliation. Whether this opportunity will be seized or squandered remains to be seen.